We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
That was the name of a hairband, man.
Winger.
Uh-huh.
It
I think
wasn't a
that was his name too, as a matter of fact.
It wasn't a Christian group, was it?
No, that was Striper.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah. Well, I know all hair bands, but that's the only hair
Winger,
band.
Striper. It's at the end of the alphabet.
So,
Am I sounding okay to you? I tested it.
yeah. Why, you feeling bad?
No, I'm talking about my microphone.
Oh, well, there you
What
go.
Um,
So,
so we were talking about bourbon. Well, first of all,
yes,
let's do this. So we're back.
officially.
Welcome to another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody. And I don't know if we're going to give away the date and time, but it's week of Thanksgiving.
Well, let's just say Thanksgiving is over tomorrow.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Thanksgiving is over, Mark. Can you tell I got a haircut?
Which one?
I got them all cut.
Did you? Is that something you do yourself?
The Floby?
Yeah. Yeah, we've talked about that too before.
We have. And that's still a thing, apparently.
Yeah.
I got a haircut and I have started my Thanksgiving tradition of not shaving.
When does that start?
So I don't shave. We had school Friday,
Okay.
and even before I worked for school, when I was self-employed, the week of Thanksgiving, I don't know if I took it off. I typically would, most people don't work, and when you're self-employed, if you don't have it done by September 30th, October, November, by Halloween,
Right.
you're in trouble. And so November becomes, I guess Thanksgiving's when it all kicks off. So November becomes kind of a go to functions, start giving out Christmas gifts, start buying your clients' favorite booze and cigars. And I usually take some time during that week and just not shave.
Is there
So,
some sort of fundraiser, no shave November or something?
yeah, it started some time ago.
Yeah, Dave's getting drunk. Usually you do that pre-show.
This is the dram.
Did you measure it?
Wow, it's spicy. This is Elijah Craig 120. So
What's the 120 for?
the proof.
So
So hold on. The beauty of the dram, we talked about it a couple times, maybe a week or so ago, but the dram officially is 1/8 of an ounce. I don't know anything that you drink that's 1/8 of an ounce, but it's a colloquial small amount.
okay.
And so the good thing about the dram, if you notice, of course, I've had 6 of these. No, but it doesn't. You don't put a lot in there, and you don't have to worry about it getting warm or cold because you don't put any ice on it.
I'm not buying into that because
It's an effective way of doing it. So I know from my
but doesn't that make you get up a lot more and get more drams?
well, you don't have to go to the bathroom as much.
Right. Well,
So I learned from let's just say a legal encounter about how much your liver processes.
mm-hmm.
And your liver processes an ounce of liquor,
Mm-hmm.
12-ounce beer, 4 ounces of wine, an hour.
Okay, so you can do 8 drams an hour.
I don't think I would recommend that because then you'd have to really get it down to 1/8 of an ounce. But the point is, I don't do this, still like a good alcoholic, doesn't it? I don't do this to get drunk.
I don't have a problem. That's
I don't
the
have a
first
problem.
thing. That's the first thing an alcoholic.
I have a dram in the morning.
says.
I mean,
It's just a pick me up,
it's,
get me up,
instead
wake
of
me up.
mouthwash, instead of, why
Right.
spend money on mouthwash when I've already got the stuff in the cabinet?
But hey, if you're watching on YouTube, then you could see Dave's fresh haircut, and I can't tell you haven't shaved though. It's not coming through
Yeah,
the
my beard.
camera.
I used to be a towhead when I was a kid. I don't really. We need to figure that out. I'll come back to that.
That you're a towhead.
And yeah, and then my hair was. People said, "Oh, he's a redhead. He's got red hair." And so, if I ever let my beard. Oh, by the way, if you said, "What color is my beard?" Does that insinuate that I have a beard, or does beard speak to the growth that comes out of your face?
Well, considering you don't have one on your face right now, I think it'd be the what color your beard's. I don't know. It just I don't think
Well,
there is.
I
I'd
got
say
this.
it's what color your beard would be if you grew it out.
So I got this argument with my argument. It was kind of a love conversation because we don't have arguments in our relationship.
Well, you get in fist fights.
Yeah, that's good. The guy drinks and fights his wife. There's going to be a sheriff at the door. Anyway, so I say I've never really had a beard except for one time, a beard.
Right.
But this is your beard, isn't it? Or is it hair on your face? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's the hair on your face.
I don't think so. I think it's your
Well,
beard.
that begs another question I have for you. So you have eyelashes, you have a hair on your head.
Yeah.
What's the hair in the eyebrow called?
Well, its
And
position
this is a
is
beard, right?
eyelash, eyebrow. But you're saying I gotta sneeze. You're saying that there's a like a hair follicle name for the hair that's
Well,
in
it
your
should
brow.
be. Should be.
Hold on, what's that? This is a worthy Alexa commercial.
There's no way she's getting it.
Alexa, what is the official name of the hair in your eyebrow?
From clevelandclinic.org.
Hold on. Alexa,
I think you have her
stop.
backwards or something.
Alexa, volume 10.
Yeah, you've been drinking.
No, the problem is she's been acting up.
Oh.
So I might have to get a new one. I had to reboot her. Alexa, what is the official name of the hair in your eyebrow?
From thesaurus.net. In summary, supercilia are the eyebrows, which are the curved lines of hair located above the eyes.
There you go.
Supercilia.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh, I gotta sneeze.
I think you've already told us that.
It's a spicy bourbon and the
Hey,
cigar.
so I was so before we get off track, I was off too far off track. No, I haven't been drinking.
Yeah.
A couple things about YouTube. We're starting to put some shorts in there as well, and we've had I've posted 3 shorts now, and we've gotten almost 2,000 views on the shorts. So thank you, America, for those listening to those.
Is the one capitalizing on it, or is we're getting picked up on the other ones too?
On the other ones too. So
I think we owe YouTube a thank you for that.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys, and we've gotten a few
what
comments.
Was the comment? What was the comment?
It's that you can't pronounce Pinta.
Pinta.
Yes.
We live
and I received that same comment via text from other listeners.
Yeah, who shall remain nameless.
But they might have been close to the Mayflower. They might live close.
What's
to
that
the
little
Mayflower.
town he lives in?
I can't show.
Chardonnayville? No. Chandlerville?
Oh, now you got me.
Starts CH?
Yeah, it did at one time. I never remember which one he lives in, to be honest with you.
Okay, whatever.
No, it's not that important.
So back to the beard. I think, so my beard I've gone white. My father hair went white. So I've got white hair, which is kind of weird because I'm fair complected anyway. And I've got a peppering of dark red hair in there somewhere. Anyway, I don't want to just totally wow the people.
Yeah. Well, the last thing, because you interrupted me once again on my YouTube rant.
Yeah, please.
Do you recognize the background?
That is King Tutankhamun.
Right. But I told you before, he's actually quite famous.
Is he uncommon?
No, he's Tutankhamun. He's common. Right. Anyhow.
Yeah.
So this day in history in 1922, the archaeologists entered the tomb of King Tut.
King Tut.
Did you ever go see that exhibit? I mean, it was big in the 70s. Remember? It made a big.
I think it was in London when I was there.
Oh, yeah.
In 84.
Huh.
When did you say you went into the tomb?
Oh, that was in 1922. But
I was there.
Yeah, you might have been.
I think it was in London at the Royal Albert Hall.
Did you know that's where my daughter graduated from?
That's where the ceremony was in the Royal Albert Hall? Did you see the dinosaurs?
Well, at the museum I did. They weren't at Royal Albert Hall.
So did you go to the
Natural History
Natural
Museum
History,
and all.
yeah.
Yeah, and all that. Her university was kind of between all those museums and Royal Albert Hall.
Okay, I know.
So,
Yeah, we used to ride by Royal Albert Hall on the bus. That's
okay.
kind of. I lived in Streatham, so that
Doesn't
was
mean
down
anything to me.
south of London. But the Natural Museum of History was where the movie Tarzan, the modern Tarzan, was filmed. Part of that was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a cool. Big dinosaur is in there. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
and there's a blue whale and everything else
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool museum.
Yeah, we've been in I've been in there twice, and I always then I go to I like going to the one with the telecommunications, kind of the science museum, and
Because
wander through the halls of that.
you're kind of a geek.
Yeah, for that kind of stuff. Well, I work in the industry, so you know what? Too bad they don't have a
Furniture.
teachers, history museum you could wander through.
Well, okay. Okay.
All
so
right.
so it's the week of Thanksgiving, and for our listeners' sake, because I know they're intrigued, I thought it would be a good idea. My daughter's in from Pennsylvania, first of all, our youngest, and you know how it is when your daughter comes in to stay for the break, she ends up spending most of her time at a friend's house. So
Of
that worked out
course.
well.
Yeah.
So that's fine, but her friend lives just a mile and 0.2 away, so it feels like we're together. And tomorrow we're going to spend our day at our eldest house with our 5 grandchildren and our daughter and son-in-law.
That'll be nice and tiring.
Yeah. So that's Wednesday, by the way. And I felt like typically we do the show on Wednesday, and it'd be a good idea for let's just knock this thing out tonight. And that way I don't look like a heel when I tell my oldest daughter, look, I got to go do this podcast with my buddy Woody, because our podcast is more important than family.
Well, I mean, it supports you being able to travel to and from her place, and all your living expenses and everything. So maybe.
I think those were the words my wife used, because it makes so much money. It's really difficult to quantify the amount.
Yeah. Well, you tell her it's not money; it's the richness of conversing with me that
it's the
makes
bonds
it
of
so
brotherhood.
valuable. Right, it makes it so valuable. So it's untold riches you gain from this.
Yeah.
Like in line with the guy standing behind me. So.
All right. So this week I'm out of school. I'm off work. Are you going to take tomorrow off?
No, they'll probably let us go early anyhow, but I no one's around, so I can't get anything done anyhow. So mainly playing
phone it in, call it in,
and
and say, look, I'm gonna put your foot down. I'm not doing this. I mean,
I don't even know how many days I have left or anything.
Are you going to take Friday off?
Yeah, we have Friday off, so.
Oh, that's generous.
We got to work Thursday though.
What's the employer's name and number? Let me give them a call.
Yeah, that's just what I need you to do.
Let me be your representative for this effort.
You want to negotiate my contract when it comes up?
Listen, he doesn't like to say it in public because he's afraid he's going to get dismissed, but he's upset about the whole term.
Yeah.
He'd like tomorrow off.
So I noticed on one of your days off this week, you were at the beach.
Yeah. So we had to go see my mother-in-law.
While you were there, did you see any superficies?
Superficies. Well, we did have soup for lunch.
Right.
Superficies? Is that like floating turds?
I did like the word.
Our superficies. No, that would be turds.
Superficies is what we had after lunch.
There was a guy laying we don't drive on the beach in Jack's Beach, but he was laying right in the middle of the sand. So the lifeguards on their truck drove. Apparently they've driven over people down there.
Yes, they have, usually because they lay down below grade level. But
well, at New Smyrna Beach, when we were in high school, that was a common thread. You could drive on the beach, and it was not uncommon for people to have too much to drink and lay up underneath the car.
I grew up in Daytona Beach, as famous for driving on the beach, and quite regularly someone would get hit, or vice versa. Someone would forget their car on the beach, and high tide would come and take it out to sea.
That's fun to watch. Superficies.
Superficies.
What is that? Big fish?
That's a surface. But I just really like the word. And I thought, since you were at the beach, I'm like, oh, I can ask him if he saw any superficies.
It's the surface of what? The water or
Just
the
a
sand?
surface, like a tabletop or a countertop or
Huh. I don't know that word.
anything flat. And ask and see if I'm even pronouncing it. Let me listen to it. Superficies.
Alexa, no, geez.
So here we go.
Alexa, define superficies.
Superficies is usually defined as the surface, outer face, or outside of a thing. For most, ask me to
All
give
right.
you full
I thought for
definition.
sure she was going to go a different route.
We're hitting good on pronunciation.
I got nothing for our shorts this week.
Enunciation, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. But I just thought that was because
Where did you see that one?
it's word of the day or whatever. One
Oh, you
time
get it from your
I
thing.
grabbed it. Yeah. It just because it sounded like I could use it in language, but I wanted to not use it properly tonight because I thought it would be funnier.
Well, and it was.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear the people laughing.
So this week, I've already taken in a movie.
What you see?
We saw
Wicked.
No, I will not. I went to the
Play.
what do you the what do you call that? A Broadway
A play.
performance. It's a play, but it's a musical. I went to the show, the big show,
Right.
and I think I fell asleep during the show. And I'm
What's
like,
wrong
no,
with you?
I don't do musicals very well. My wife was a
I'm not a
theater.
big fan of it either, but it's not a show you could sleep through by any means.
The last one I really enjoyed was The Wiggles. Fruit Salad. I could go right through that whole song.
You know, that's one of the few songs I can remember the lyrics to.
Captain Feathersword and Fruit Salad. Those were creepy guys from Australia. You know, at what point do you get to a certain age where you're like, maybe we shouldn't be playing with kids anymore?
Well, I think they went the route of being a real band and they kind of goofed off with I forget the story behind it, but I think they were goofing off on, playing something for one of their nephews or something, and they found they could make money doing it. So they rode that
What are they up to these days, I wonder?
I don't know. I look back and see.
Hold on a second. Alexa, are the Wiggles still acting?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, yes, the Wiggles are still performing. Consult their website for information on upcoming concerts and tours.
I don't want to.
Well, you just said it was the last good show you've been to.
No, I like to have a fond memory, and it was probably.
Did you really go to that?
Yeah, my youngest daughter. You know how you go through cycles? Like my oldest daughter, her thing was the big purple dinosaur,
Barney.
You and me,
Yeah,
three. We're a perfect family. I thought it was we're a dysfunctional family. I don't know.
My son, did you ever have to watch Dora the Explorer?
I am the map.
Well, so one morning, my son, I don't know, he's like 4 years old, and he's sitting at the breakfast table, and the TV's on in the other room. Everybody, the girls are getting ready for school or whatever, and it's on. It's like, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. And he looks at my mom and he goes, all right, we get it. He's the map. He's 4 years of age.
Yeah, that was annoying. We watched that one.
That's a Brian Regan bit.
Well, so let's see. My oldest daughter and my wife were big fans of the television series called. It was a single mom.
Great story, Dave.
Yeah, a single mom and their daughter, and they lived in a small little cute town with a diner. And I know our female audience is listening.
Was it a drama, comedy?
No, it was a TV show that was on every week.
Really, a TV show on every week?
Hold
Okay.
on.
Now you're narrowing it down.
So the mom was a single mom that had a daughter, and it was a similar story to my wife. And the woman's mother was very similar to my mother-in-law. I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, but what was the name of that show? But I ended up watching that after we got married, and I was like, oh, this is painful. I can't remember the name of the show, but anyway, because it was such a riveting thing for me to be involved in. And then Dora the Explorer and Barney. I think Vanessa was part of Dora the Explorer.
Okay.
Vanessa's 35 though, 36. I know she was definitely Barney. And then Sarah came along and Wiggles showed up
Yes.
and we had to do Wiggles. And it seems like there's
I think the only performance I went to in that genre would have been Disney on Ice. I think I got sucked into one of those
oh,
one
God.
time. Yeah, that's just awful.
Yeah, we went to Disney one time when Sarah was little, with Vanessa was still young enough, and we did the princess thing where they went to the hair salon and they put this goop in their hair and this sparkly, it was like literally glue, and they did them all up. And I was like, we just paid like $75 for them to put slime in their hair, and
to
then
put Elmer's glue.
yeah, and it was disgusting. We had to go to the hotel and get it all out. We never been back to Disney since.
I was just talking to someone about that today because they were toying around with going. I said, we went once with all the kids, maybe when they were all around averaging 10 years of age. And that's the last time we've been because, living in Orlando, and that's where I met my wife and everything, a little burned out on the Disney thing.
Yeah,
But
it's not quite the same either.
I'm always amazed that people go every year.
I mean, like the people that pay for the annual membership.
Well, that's a little different. That's usually a younger crowd because there's a lot you can do. To me, when you live in Orlando, of course, family come to stay with you because you're
they
in
want to go to
Orlando.
Disney. Yeah.
Right. So you might as well just buy an annual pass and, take it, that way you don't have to buy a ticket every time or make them buy you a ticket, and you could still drive them to and from and all that. So I get all that, but to go yearly, like that's your life's ambition, to go yearly to Disney World.
So I grew up there, like, I lived in
Yeah.
Orlando, and I never paid for Disney until I graduated from college. And so I think I've been over 1,000 times. I've lost count, but we would go, all my friends worked there. And so you would call up a friend and say, hey, I'm going to Disney this weekend. Can you score us some tickets? And
Right.
yeah, I'll leave them at the gate for you. And so I never paid. I know I took, when I was a furniture rep, might have been the first time I paid because I took this gal, she was a designer, and we met and went out for, that's where I showed her the trick about getting the wheelchair. And so,
to get up in front of the line.
yeah.
So you started that whole thing, is what you're saying?
I don't know if I started it, but we were in on it, and it was funny because she was this cute little knockout designer, right out of college, and I was the Herman Miller rep or something like that. And so we were kind of dating at the time. And so I told her about this wheelchair thing. She goes, "No, I don't want to do that, Dave." And I was like, "Come on, look." And then she goes, "Well, wait a minute. Maybe I can use it as a way to check out ADA." She wanted to go in the bathroom and see, because she's an interior designer, and to see if it made sense. I'm like, "Yeah, this is perfect." And all I'm thinking is about, we're going to get to the front of the line.
Yeah.
And so she was really cute. And so people are looking at her in the wheelchair, and I'm pushing her around, like, and so when they weren't close to her, they go, "Do you mind is she okay?" And so I started up stories like, well, it's kind of like a Make-A-Wish thing. She's
It was a harvester accident in Iowa.
it was
don't bring it up to her. It's still
don't
scarred.
mention it because she's still sensitive about it. But so we just had a blast. It was just a hoot. But then they clamped down on it, and they said, because you had to pay $1. It was like $1 or $5 for the chair, and it was like a returnable bottle. If you bring it back, you get your $5 back. But then the people figured it out, and Disney stopped doing it. You had to show them you had a broken leg or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I went with my father-in-law, who had 2 bad knees by that time. He was a plumber his whole life, and but he had we got him one of those go-go carts, for the park, because they want to go with the grandchildren to the park. So we rented one of those so he could at least go around. And then he's like, I want to ride a roller coaster. So me and him, you go right to the front of the line.
Yeah, we did Space Mountain like 5 times.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a treat. But I worked at Disney World too, right?
Yeah. You shared, you were in maintenance, maybe?
Yeah, toilet cleaning.
That's solid.
Yeah, I mean it's Good job. No, I did
Grounds?
no, we did concerts, basically the entertainment division of the hotels.
No.
So all those big corporations that would bring in acts to play, we would be in charge of getting all the equipment, loading all the equipment
Did
up.
you wear black all the time?
No, we wore yellow,
Like a
like
Disney uniform?
yeah, my uniform
Costume?
costume. Yeah, my uniform was we had two. We could go with blue slacks and a white button down, or a yellow button down with brown slacks. That was the two, but we always wore black shoes.
My
So
oldest daughter was a face and a fur. You know what that is?
I don't know if I want to, Dave. I might
So
change my opinion.
so when we were living in Baker County, she was out of high school,
Is this your oldest?
my oldest, yeah. And she said, I want to go down and work at Disney. She could stay at my sister's house,
Okay.
for a sleepover or drive, it's not 2 hours drive back. But she was Cinderella. My eldest is a looker,
Hmm.
and she had the right frame. So she was a face means that you showed your face as a character.
Oh, okay.
And so she was Cinderella. And when she
Was
was
she tall?
no, the
Okay.
Cinderella was like 5'3" or 4.
Really? Okay.
And so, but she was like the B team Cinderella. She was
Right.
the backup. And then when she wasn't a face, she was a chipmunk.
Oh,
And I went to high school with a girl named Carolyn Clark.
I thought you were
Caroline,
gonna say you went to high school with a chipmunk.
well, she was a chipmunk. She was one of the chipmunks.
Yeah.
Carolyn Clark was. But yeah, Vanessa did it for like a better part of a year. She drove back and forth to Disney, and then I think her then boyfriend didn't like it, and he said, "You got to quit." And I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah, just keep doing it.
yeah.
This is cool. You can
If
tell your
if
kids."
you can dance, they'll put you on tour. You can go across, different places in the world and all that stuff. So
Yeah, so she did the waves and the greeting and the stuff like that as Cinderella. But she said she liked it, both of them, but the chipmunks were easy because you didn't have to say anything.
my only real brush with fame though was for some reason was it the Mandrell sisters?
Yeah,
What were their
they
names?
played down there.
Yeah, and she was one
Sally.
of the lesser sisters, not the most famous one.
Well,
Anyhow,
that's what I want to be remembered as. Yeah, you remember the
well,
Mandrells? I was the really ugly one that
I
sat in the
wasn't the
back.
well-known one, but anyhow, for some
Barbara.
reason, it wasn't Barbara, but whatever her sister was, she was a looker herself. But for some reason, we had to go to the airport to pick up their instruments and stuff, and so they throw all their luggage in the back of the truck with the instruments, and all I remember is that somehow we broke a bottle of perfume in her bag because by the time we opened the back of the truck, it's so
Wow.
much. So we politely put all the bags in the hotel and said, "See you later," and let the busboy get blamed for that one.
I got to. We always keep doing this segment, not to be one-upmanship, but I got to meet Maria Osmond, and I was at the Crown Plaza as a doorman, and she and her husband.
Let me guess, she was naked too, Dave. Like the store is just
No, she and her husband were staying. Crown Plaza was owned by the DeBartolo family out in San Francisco. So
the guy who owns the football team.
I think he owned the Niners, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a hip place when it first opened up. I don't know if that had some sort of connection, but they stayed there. She and her husband at the time, real tall fella, and they had a couple kids. Well, the funny story was they rented a K car. You remember that car?
God, awful thing that they
But it
said
was
saved it.
It was a convertible, and she didn't put the top back up. And those 3 o'clock afternoon thunderstorms in Central Florida.
Oh.
And so I had to go run out to the car, and it had like a foot of water in it. So I was like, oh, smooth Magoo there, Marie.
She had the money to pay for it, though. Come on.
Anyway, all right. Well, I don't know how we got sidetracked onto this. I don't know.
I don't even know where we started.
Yeah. Well, that's typical for our show. I was listening, so I made a commitment this week. Not only if I'm not shaving, I did get a haircut. That's constructive, but I'm committed to a cigar a day.
Why?
Because I like them.
That's like saying, why don't I get in a car accident a day? You know, it's just about as healthy. A commitment.
Cigars aren't bad for you.
Oh, that's just you
Any-
keep telling yourself.
It's fine. Anyway, so I was having a cigar. I've had one so far. I've kept my commitment, and I've been listening to some of our previous shows, and we've done a pretty good job. We've found our footing. I do have to. My Sarah told me, goes, Dad, you all need some structure in your show because you guys are all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's what makes it fun. So I don't know
Well,
about
everybody has a short attention span, so we just
Yeah, we're like gnats.
yeah, it just
we
keep
just change
bugging you with little things. Just like gnats, yeah, pest.
So I can't think of what some of the subject matter we talked about, but we really kind of we have a topic that we discuss, and then it goes off into some tangent, like we've done so far. We've covered all over the place. But
I typically
entertaining
write
stuff.
down things, but we never seem. I still have stuff from 6 months ago. I look at my notes I never have talked about yet.
Well, we've adopted a couple things. We've got Ask Alexa, which is a constant thread that seems to be. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then we've got Word of the Week, which you've developed. And then what else do we do?
Day in
That's about it.
history.
This day in history. So that's
Yeah.
something. I don't want to get into that, reading from headlines, because that's been done about a million times.
Yeah.
So is this day in history, but
Hey,
but we seem to have fun with it.
I try to find something offbeat. I don't put a lot of work into it.
Well, that shows, and neither do I. So I think we should give ourselves an award for that.
We're coming up against the last 15 minutes of the show. I did see a little fun fact this week. What do you think? Well, I mean, the first Thanksgiving, right, with the Indians and the Pilgrims up there in Plymouth, Massachusetts. What do you think they actually had for dinner?
So
the entree. What do you think the entree was?
It's probably fish.
Wrong.
It wasn't turkey.
Correct.
So
why don't you ask our
well,
see if it
so
matches
I do
my answer.
I told you I do this newsletter called the Small Business Patriot. And anytime we're up against a national holiday like this Thanksgiving, the History Channel does a pretty good job of documenting that. And so, and I got a video from PragerU of all places talking about how Abraham Lincoln designated Thanksgiving as a national holiday.
He just had he's real sick or something. Dennis Prager.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
He
I
is.
thought you meant Abraham Lincoln. I think he was dead.
Yeah.
He had lead poisoning.
I was gonna say,
are you serious?
I was trying to go with a hole in your head thing, but I couldn't come up with it. I need that.
You read
like
something about Dennis
I heard
Prager?
something about Dennis Prager getting
he likes
really
cigars
sick
too.
Yeah, really sick. So
okay, so hold on. Let's see here. Alexa, what was the entree of the first Thanksgiving?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the first Thanksgiving, the 1,621 feast between the 53 Pilgrims and the 90 Wampanoag Indians at Plymouth Colony contained waterfowl, venison, ham, lobster, clams, berries, fruit, pumpkin, and squash. This feast lasted 3 days.
Wow. That's how they came up with massive two shits.
Yay!
3 days of lobster,
venison
berries.
Venison is what I was reading about.
Well, that makes sense.
And there is no guarantee that was the case. But,
oh no, this is well documented. This was a
I mean, it wasn't an Alexa contributor. I think she should be obligated to tell us the name of the contributor.
Well, so this was one of the earlier shows I was listening to where we discovered this character, this contributor, and we investigated how do we become one. And it was kind of a funny bit because we can do it. We need to do it. We have to go into Alexa and then sign up, and then we can just answer questions
randomly.
Well, and I told the story.
Well, that's why I think they should say who the contributor is. If it's Mighty Penis 123 contributor, I know not to believe in that.
Well,
right?
I think by them saying, it's translated from an Alexa contributor is their way of saying, take it or leave it. I don't
Right.
know. I mean, do you think people are actually believing this stuff?
Really?
Well, it
We
speaks
got
to
people thinking the world is flat, of all things.
it's not.
No,
We did
believe
that.
it or not.
Who was it? The Flat Earth Society. You think there's people out there that still believe that?
Oh, absolutely.
Have they done air travel before?
They have reasoning for everything you can argue with them.
Hold on. Alexa, are there people who still believe the world is flat?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
I think she's been asked not to.
Well, she may be insulted because she may be one of them.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. But yes, that is absolutely. They have conferences and stuff.
That's just a way to sell swag, though. And
Well,
t-shirts.
somebody, but there's enough people willing to
I'd like to go to
traveling
one of those.
and well, you can on YouTube just look up anybody, any of those.
That would be funny to do a weekend help with Dave and Woody from the Flat Earth Society convention. Hey, we're sitting here with Bob. Bob, weigh in on this. What do you think about this flat Earth thing? Oh, that would be, and then sell it like we're actually one of them.
I know what we could do as a prize. We could give away a free cruise.
Don't worry, we won't go off the edge.
Right.
It's like Truman's story.
Around the world cruise. How about that? We'll call it
Well,
around
now
the
you're
world
just making
cruise.
fun of these people. It would be, that'd be quite a. I don't think management would allow just front the production money for that.
I'm sure the guy was just trying to remember that guy who was trying to fly a rocket into space, homemade rocket into space. I think he eventually died trying, but he got sponsored by Flat Earth Society so he could prove that everything has been a farce. He was going to go high enough in his rocket to show the world was flat. I'm sure he was just buying into that to get their money so he could keep doing it. But
so where is the end? Where is the edge? According to them, where's the drop off?
Well, we could say the same thing about space. Where's space end?
Yeah, that's above my pay grade on that level. I'm just saying, at some point,
you're trying to think how to ask Alexa, aren't you? I could see it.
No, I'm just trying to get inside their head.
Good luck.
How do you
It's quite voluminous.
How do you exist in this space that we live in?
Well, there was that NBA player who bought into it for a while. And he said, and it's exactly what we talk about all the time, it's that these algorithms that if they're just going to feed you what you want to believe, right? Because you'll read it.
So you start asking questions about flat Earth, and then suddenly your computer starts.
You're like, holy, this makes sense. You get enough information, it starts making sense to you. And if you don't have, the capacity to evaluate these statements on your own, you can easily start believing.
Okay, this is our first X Spaces.
Oh, we're going to talk about flat Earth?
Yeah, where the title is going to be, is the Earth flat? Are you in or not? Are you in or out? I don't know, something like that.
Maybe we get some people to show up that would.
We need to do that. Maybe we do that right after the show tonight. Just real quick, not very long. Let's see if we get any bites. X Spaces, folks. We're making the announcement. We don't know how we're going to do it. Woody and I have been kicking this idea around. At least I started it as an idea to. We're on X, right?
Yeah, it's right. David, it's always up top there, on top of the screen.
You did that really well. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, look up there. It's Dave and Woody Pod. What do you do? Dave and Woody Pod at Dave and Woody Pod.
Yeah, at Dave and Woody Pod.
At Dave and Woody Pod. That's our X handle. And we want to go on and do a live Spaces. I think we get 11 or 12 followers on our We Can Help page on X.
Do we?
And I just got reviewed. So on my Twitter page, David Theus at David Theus, I think I changed my profile picture. Just thinking I'd mix it up a little bit. Well, unbeknownst to me, as soon as you change your profile picture, it sends Elon gets an email and says, this guy is screwing around with his profile. We need to verify that he's really who he is. And I changed it like 3 or 4 times, and my check kept going away. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Do you
It's
pay
like,
for your check?
oh well, everyone pays for it now.
That's what I'm saying.
I was verified before verified was being cool. Because I ran for Congress. I was a public figure. It was so funny. I had like 600 followers back then, and back then X was still, well, it was Twitter back then, and so
Yeah.
you had a bunch of liberals and conservatives, but fairness, it was mostly a liberal platform, and so these trolls would get on. You would say something, and they'd see my blue check, and it pissed them off. They would be like, how is it you got 600 followers and you get a blue check? Who do you think you are? And some of them would do a bunch of research. I'm like, all you have to do is, I didn't say it, but if you just Google me, you'll figure it out.
Right.
And then they would come back and go, oh, he ran for Congress. He's a 2-bit nothing. He didn't even win, and he gets a blue check. And I'm like, wow.
People have way too much time in their hands. It's just
Talk
incredible.
about living rent free.
It's just,
I didn't know the blue check was really that important, but apparently it was.
To some people. I didn't even know it was a thing until Elon started charging people for it. I'm like,
well,
what?
I've done the math. It's $84 for the year, and there's
You know how much bourbon that buys you?
One bottle. Depends on if you're drinking your stuff. Probably
Yeah, you get 3 of them for my price. Yeah,
I don't pay for bourbon. I get it.
Oh yeah, you steal
you
it.
Run fast enough. Well, you can't do that anymore because in California they passed that $900 shoplifting thing. I used to get all my bourbon
insane
in San Francisco.
I don't get that. That's like sitting in those board meetings, right? And we kind of that bit. It's like, how do you sit at the city council and go, listen, I got a great. Well, I know what it is. It's how to lower your crime rate, right? Which actually had the reverse effect for them. Right, because if you stop prosecuting for 900 or less, your crime rate goes way down. But unfortunately, it went up because everybody's.
But your businesses leave too.
Right.
So, back to your boardroom bit. We're all over the place tonight, and I swear it's not the Dre I'm talking. But so I bought some toothpaste recently.
What?
Yeah, I know. I still believe that brushing your teeth is a good thing.
You buy into that whole doctor's thing, huh?
Yeah, well,
the whole ADA scam.
9 out of 10 dentists think brush your teeth's good. So
who's the 10th that doesn't?
So he's got no teeth. I don't like paying a lot of money for toothpaste. You go in there, they're like $8 a tube now. I'm like, what are we getting for this? And so can't you just brush just with a brush and just?
I think you can, yes.
I mean, yeah. So, but I buy it and I try to find, cavity protection and all this other crap. But Colgate apparently is at the low level. Colgate. It's not Crest. Really? There's like a pecking order.
I thought maybe you were going with whatever was in the bargain bin, and you've now got traces of lead in your body or something like that. You went so cheap.
So I pick up this Colgate box. It's a 2-pack value there was 2 of them for like $6, whereas Crest had 1 for $8 or something. I don't know.
Right.
And so it's got all the buzzwords: fluoride toothpaste, big red, white, and blue, cavity protection, picture of a tooth, strengthens teeth with active fluoride. And the slogan is great regular flavor. So I
think I know what they're on to, but I don't want to.
Well, I don't. From a marketing standpoint, the word great and regular shouldn't go together.
Kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's like, what's your favorite ice cream? Great regular vanilla. That's what I like. I don't know. It's just struck me.
There was it's like they needed a third word in there or something. So like
great regular flavor.
Because regular flavor, you'd be like, okay, but you put great in front of it and it means a whole different thing, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not getting that that fantastic flavor. I just want the great regular flavor.
Right.
I don't know. It caught me off guard. Maybe I'm thinking too much about it, but what do I know? All right, we're up against the clock here, man.
Yeah, I know. It's almost time to start your goodbye speech.
Holy cow, this went fast. We don't know what we're doing. And
I've written down so many subjects. Yeah, we've had a barrage of subjects tonight.
Well, this was perfect for Thanksgiving. So let's do a real quick Thanksgiving closeout. What are you thankful for? That's always
Yeah, I
good.
don't want to go with all the usuals, Dave. So I'll just go.
Well,
I'm
just give me
thankful. I'm thankful for me.
getting
Oh,
ready.
you get no verklempt. What's your words?
Verklempt. I think it's the bourbon.
Verklempt.
Am I holding my breath again? Wow, does it? It does that. It's weird.
Eastern is red as it's amazing.
I know. It's like a sat-on attack or something. Could be the blood pressure.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for friends in the world, Dave.
Thankful for employment.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, I'm thankful for family and
Yeah.
the fact that we get to be together. So, and we've got some cool weather too. So we have much to be thankful for as Americans. So we should be thankful.
As always. Yes.
All right,
Yes, I agree.
so let's do this. We're on YouTube in case you hadn't figured it out. Woody's promotes the YouTube, I promote Spotify, and together we make a joint effort. So if you're watching us or wherever you're doing, if you're listening to us on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Podcast Addict, then jump over to YouTube because we know that you're plugged in at YouTube. We've seen everything else you're watching, and just pick up why we can help with Dave and Woody, and just smash the subscription button. We don't even. I mean, we'd like for you to watch it, but I mean, you
Of
don't have to.
course. But subscription numbers help in other ways as well.
Yeah, but Woody and I both are coming up on retirement age, and we're trying to build a second income that we can retire on and do nothing but sit around and, you know.
It's either that or I'm going to have to sell myself to science slowly.
Yeah, and apparently the plasma thing isn't as good as it used to be.
Right, and you only have so many organs you can sell. So
I'm down one kidney already.
I'm pushing the limits of that kidney
I can't
already.
even give blood because I have mad cow. So
you do?
Well, I was in Europe in '84.
Oh, so you don't know if you have it, but you
I would know. I mean,
no, it could be lying dormant in you.
Is it survivable?
I don't know. Ask her real quick.
Okay.
We got one. Well, we're over, but ask her real quick if you can survive it.
Alexa, is mad cow survivable?
From wikipedia.org. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSE, commonly known as mad cow disease, is an incurable and invariably fatal neurodegenerative disease of cattle.
Is mad cow disease survivable in humans? Oh, shit. Alexa, is mad cow disease survivable in humans?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, just give her up. We don't have time.
Well, I would think I'd be doomed if I had it.
I don't know if it's one of those things that sits dormant in your body or not. I'll ask the doctor in my house.
Yeah, do that
after we hang up, just
right,
to put a scare in your mind. Yeah,
right,
Dave,
right.
it can sit in there dormant for 50 years.
Moo! I don't care. The cigars won't get me. The cow will. So listen to us on Spotify. Listen to us on a podcast and check us out on YouTube and smash the subscribe button. And look out for us over at Dave and Woody. Is it Woody and Dave or Dave and Woody?
Dave and Woody Pod.
Dave and Woody Pod on X for a spaces to come. We might do it tonight. All right, that's it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Woo-hoo.
Peace out.